Good morning, friends. I am Michelle, and I am continuing this book series. This book, actually not a series, but just one single book. The Salamander and the Manger. And this is Animal Stories of the Holy Night. So today we're going to hear about the spider who wove her gift. Esma the spider was the oldest resident of the stable in Bethlehem. She had arrived even before the cow was born, even before the dove arrived. This had always been her home. Her favorite place in the stable was high up in the left-hand corner in the back between two beams. It was dark and protected her from the gaze of people like the innkeeper's wife, who found her presence upsetting. Esmond was confused by people's revulsion toward her. She thought herself quite elegant, with beautiful blue stripes and shiny black eyes that showed the mind and soul of an artist. Esma's spiderwebs elegantly crisscrossed the stable ceiling. Still, she was always on high alert when humans entered the stable and moved nimbly to the highest point in the rafters. The cow was Esme's closest friend. The beauty of the spider webs, which served to reduce the population of bothersome mosquitoes, was the only creativity that the otherwise no-nonsense cow could tolerate. Whenever a person entered the stable and screamed at the sight of Esmond, the cow stomped and mooed angrily to protect her friend. She didn't understand what people found so frightening about Esme. Her presence and her magnificent webs kept the aggravating insects to a minimum, and this pleased all the animals in the stable. It seemed to the cow that humans should be equally appreciative. Whenever people flailed at Esme's webs with brooms and rakes, they created a mess that disrupted the cow's well-ordered stable. One winter's day, the innkeeper came bustling into the stable, muttering under his breath about too many people in town and not enough room at the inn. To the cow's shock, the innkeeper seemed to be preparing to bring people to her stable. It seemed more intent than usual on destroying Esme's webs, trying to make the stable as clean as possible. Esme crawled into her favorite corner and watched sadly as weeks of work fell under his sweeping broom. The innkeeper finished tidying the stable and left, returning shortly with a man and a very pregnant young woman. He explained to them that there was no room in the inn, but that the stable had been cleaned to accommodate travelers whose need was urgent. The cow, who had herself birthed many calves, sensed that a baby was arriving soon. Despite her irritation with the innkeeper's removal of Esme's artwork, the cow was grateful that the fresh hay had been placed in the manger. When the child was born, she gestured to the mother to lay him there. A great star suddenly appeared overhead. The light shone down through the holes in the ceiling, illuminating every corner, even the corner where Esme had hidden herself so as not to disturb the family. She watched the scene below as her friend the cow organized all the animals around the manger in a tableau. As the couple gazed with love at their newborn babe, Esme noticed the mother shiver and bundled the swaddling clothes more tightly around the baby. The older man quickly took off his cloak and wrapped his wife in its folds. Even the animals around the manger seemed to feel a chill in the air as they huddled close together. Esme realized the cold wind was flowing through the holes in the roof. Quickly, she sprang to work. She wove her strings together faster than she had ever woven before. She spun her webs more tightly than usual to cover the holes in the roof and shield the new family and the other residents of the stable from the wind. She made her intricate art. The light of the star turned the strands of the spider's web into threads of golden light. The dilapidated ceiling was transformed into an artist's beautiful canvas. In the center of it all was Esme, tired and out of breath, but very proud. She slowly lowered herself until she could sit on the cow's horn. The unicorn with the golden horn, who was seated at the front of the manger, turned and gave her an encouraging smile. "Do you notice, Joseph, that the wind isn't blowing quite so hard now?" "Look what the spider has done," said Mary. Joseph gazed at Esme with wonder. "She has woven her web tightly enough to block the wind." As she sat on the cow's horn, not knowing whether to stay or to flee, Joseph held out his hand. The unicorn nodded encouragingly, and Esme cautiously stepped into his open palm. Slowly, Joseph brought the beautiful spider close to the baby. The child's waving fingers reached out and brushed Esme gently. The spider experienced something new. In this moment, no one was afraid of her. She did not need to hide. Her art was not considered a mess to be disposed of. It was appreciated for the protection it provided. In light of the star, with the touch of the child's hand, Esme knew that she was not hated or feared, but loved. Slowly, she returned to the cow's horn, surprised that her presence had been welcomed and her gift had been accepted. There were some in the world who could look past their fear to see the wonderful creature she truly was. The unicorn lifted his golden horn and spoke quietly. "On this holy night, as we sit in the light of the star and wonder at the child's birth, We remember that gifts may come from unexpected places and creatures, even those that we fear. The birth of this child shows us that we can share God's love no matter who or what we are. Esme smiled and relaxed on the cow's horn, happy to have shared that love through her talents. So much love to all of you, my friends.